Out in profound space, a Weyland-Yutani space test finds and examines the destruction of the USCSS Nostromo, the boat from the first outsider, recovering a little natural item. Moved into a bigger vessel, the article is opened and a piece of it eliminated from the room. The other part is centered around, uncovering the state of a xenomorph inside. Downpour Carradine, a vagrant, works with her supportive sibling Andy, a harmed manufactured human reinvented by Downpour's dad to keep her protected, at a mining province in the world Jackson Star. Having worked the contracted measure of hours requires, Downpour needs to leave the planet for another life on the far-off Vega 3. In any case, the Weyland-Yutani assistant rather copies her contracted time, and an assault on Andy by 3 teen troublemakers keeps her from contending further. Soon after, Downpour's ex Tyler reaches her and requests to meet at their boat, the Holler Corbellin IV. Likewise present are Tyler's sister Kay, his more youthful cousin Bjorn, and their pilot, Bjorn's taken-on sister Navarro. Tyler makes sense of that a neglected WY space apparatus is coming near the planet, and is because of crash into its rings in close to a day and a half. The manifest for the station incorporates numerous cryostasis chambers, which whenever rescued would permit the team of the Corbellin to make the long excursion to Vega 3. Tyler reached Downpour in light of the fact that, as a Weyland-Yutani engineered, Andy can communicate with the station's PC-MU-THR 9000 and discharge any locks they might experience. Downpour is normally reluctant to send Andy, particularly given Bjorn's scorn of engineered materials, yet is persuaded by Tyler with a commitment that she would be permitted to accompany them to Vega 3. After Andy gives his consent likewise, she concurs. The Corbellin flies to the space apparatus, which is uncovered to be a space station named Renaissance, separated into 2 sections. Romulus and Remus, a reference to the Roman legend. Boarding Romulus, Tyler, Bjorn and Andy clear their path through the station, experiencing some trouble as the station's counterfeit gravity goes through a cleanse, occasionally. Before long, the 3 track down the controls to drive the station and the gravity, and soon after, the cryo chambers. In any case, the chambers don't have anywhere close to enough cryo fuel to get them to Vega. All things being equal, Tyler launches the chambers for Navarro in the Corbellin to get, and the 3 continue further into the station looking for additional fuel. As the Corbellin gets the units, Kay hurries to the latrine to upchuck. As Downpour helps her into a bunk, she uncovers that she is pregnant. Downpour likewise gains from Navarro that Bjorn's disdain of fabricated materials was because of a mishap in the mines. A manufactured boss decided to allow Bjorn's mom to pass on to save 12 different diggers. Tyler's party arrives at the science module of the Romulus, running over a harmed manufactured and an enormous opening in the floor that seems to have been made by corrosive. They ultimately find a cryo extra space with more cryofuel. However, in endeavoring to recover it, they trigger a lockdown grouping that traps them in the room. Andy can't raise the lockdown as it requires higher leeway, so Navarro and Downpour are compelled to board the station to help them. Concealed by every one of them, a reserve of cryopreserved facehuggers in the room are quickly thawing out and starting to stir. Downpour finds that introducing a module from the obliterated engineered into Andy ought to give him the leeway to end the lockdown. Notwithstanding, as they introduce the module into Andy, the principal 2 or 3 facehuggers rise up out of their cryopods and start to assault. Andy resets and opens the entryway with perfect timing for the 3 to get away. However, as they run, a facehugger effectively hooks onto Navarro. Back in the principal science lab, the team attempt to eliminate the animal from Navarro, however are compelled to stop before its tail, folded over her neck, gags her to death. Looking for an answer, Downpour reactivates the harmed engineered from before, which presents itself as science official Rook. He makes sense of that the station, uncovered to have been the one that recovered the xenomorph from the Nostromo's disaster area, was in essence obliterated by the animal before they figured out how to kill it. At any rate, he expresses that there is no way to save Navarro now. However, Tyler demands they endeavor. They figure out how to remove the facehugger by utilizing some cryofuel to freeze the base of its tail, releasing its hold. As they head back to the Corbellin, Andy, whose mandates have been changed by Rook's module, concludes that the boat can't be permitted to leave while quite possibly Navarro may be facilitating a xenomorph, and endeavors to prevent Navarro and Bjorn from leaving. Sadly, they get to the boat first and seal the isolated space, catching Tyler, Downpour and Andy on the station. The chestburster then, at that point, starts to rise out of Navarro, whose fits make the Corbellan go crazy,